listeners.
Chatty Chappies.
Here we are again.
Chatty Chappies.
Chatty Chappies.
Chatty Chappies.
Chatty Chappies.
Brian and Andrew on
Chatty Chappies.
Chatty Chappies.
Thank you for turning on Chatty Chappies. Andy and Brian are recent friends who are discovering similar interests and just like chatting about all kinds of things from music to vehicles, spirituality to writing, but seldom football. No, never soccer. I mean, never football.
Chatty Chappies.
You are listening to Andrew and Brian on Chatty Chappies.
coffee.
Aye, here we go then.
Here we go.
We're always talking about getting coffee at the end.
Well, we've got coffee at the start now.
Well, cheers to you.
Cheers, Swange.
And how's your week going?
It's going very well. There, working in the DWP.
Yeah. I was giving some thought the other day where we are. You know, we talked a few weeks back about summertime, and now we're getting into the darker days and less daylight, and it's wet. And okay, we're not cutting the grass so often, but
I don't cut the grass anyway. I guess somebody come round and do it. But
right.
yeah,
Are they expensive?
a tenner
Oh well, not bad.
every fortnight. It's
Yeah,
best tenner I think I ever spend.
yeah, good.
Saves me having to do it.
So what was I going to say? That's the question.
You were going to say we were talking about it's summertime, moving
Yeah.
through autumn. It's getting darker.
Yeah. So how are you about winter?
Winter time. I like autumn.
You like autumn,
I
right?
like autumn. I like the last days of summer that we've seen. You still get some nice days. Here we are towards
Yeah.
the end of October, and yet you can get some nice days. And if you're out for a run in the car down the 82, down Loch Ness side or something, the colours
Yeah.
of the trees are just fantastic. Even driving round the town.
Well, Frances was saying that to me just 2 days ago. She says, which season do you prefer, spring or autumn or summer or winter? And I was saying probably spring. And that's because of the hay fever in the summertime. And of course midges, but we'll not go there. But she was saying like you, autumn, because of the colours. The reds, the browns, the oranges, and just that whole maturing
Yeah,
of the colours, yeah.
yeah. And there's still a lot of leaves on the trees. We're in towards the end of October, and
Yeah.
we're the trees are still pretty full of leaves. There's not
yeah.
they're not falling yet.
No,
There are some, but they're not as like some years you do see them. I don't know whether it's we've not had really windy days yet.
well, we've got 2 apple trees, and one apple tree, the apples fell off early September. The other tree, we still got apples on them. None have fallen off yet, and we're just holding out.
And what sort of apples are they? Both cookers or
Oh no,
eating
they're
apples?
eating apples, yeah. The first tree, which is, I presume, like potatoes, it's an early, and they were very sweet. This tree, we've had a sample test just this afternoon, and it's a bit more of a bite to it, bit more, bit sharper, but still a nice apple. So I'm thinking again about winter, and what do we do to get through winter?
Well, there you go. It's there's a question that comes up every year, and every year I haven't found a decent answer.
No.
I think because I still work.
Okay.
I think because I still go into an office and work 9 till 5, give or take here and there. It's not. My time is pretty well taken up. You obviously write and study an awful lot more than I do.
Well, I find that if I have 2 or 3 projects that I can work away at, then if I've got some spare time, I can pick it up, put it down.
Yeah.
I think if it was one project, I would probably dry up.
Yeah.
And if I'm drying up in one area, I just jump to another area,
Mm.
and maybe that's fresher. So, but I'm also thinking too. Maybe come back to that. I'm also thinking too. A lot of people. I mean, there's a lot of people on their own in the winter
Aye.
time in a house trying to heat it. You know, what do they do? I mean, in the old days, people would do jigsaws, that sort of thing.
Spend my time. I
Yeah.
very often get a jigsaw at Christmas time, and I've had jigsaws over the years. I've even had one made specially for me from Elizabeth in Manchester.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi, who took a photograph of the view from the back of the house,
Okay.
looking towards Ben Wyvis.
All right, across the Black Isle.
And so you get some of the new houses at West Culloden in it, and then looking across to Kilmuir
Yes.
and Ben Wyvis, and
Yeah.
yeah, a bit of snow on top of the Ben,
Hmm.
but a clear day, so a lovely photograph turned into a
Yeah.
jigsaw.
Yeah.
Um,
So, mother down south, she does crosswords. I do a bit, and I think, well, my sister does too, don't you, Eileen? We do family history, and we have links, which we'll probably talk about in another programme. But that's quite a good thing you can pick
I've
up and lay down.
never really got into
No.
crosswords
No,
or Sudoku.
no.
Despite my love of books and things, I've just never quite got that wordy
Yeah,
thing about me.
I struggle. I mean, there's Mum and Francis too. They do these the target where you get some letters, you
Yeah.
have to make a big word. Oh, I
Mhm.
struggle,
Mhm.
really struggle.
The best I ever get was the puzzles where the words are there and you have to find.
Oh yes,
There's 10 words hidden in
Oh,
a
yeah.
grid. Aye,
Yeah.
So
yeah, that works.
Yeah.
So I wonder what other people do then. I mean, do they just sit and watch TV?
there's a lot of TV watching.
Yeah.
TV watching is the thief of time.
Yeah,
And but people do all sorts of things. Some folks will take up tapestry, embroidery, there's
knitting.
all that knitting.
Knitting.
Kathy, my wife.
Yeah.
Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Kathy.
We're a very, very skilled knitter,
Yeah.
expert knitter. Knocks up a cardigan
And
and yeah.
she
and
does
then-
crocheting as well, doesn't she?
She doesn't do crocheting.
Oh, I'm getting mixed up with
Right,
somebody
aye.
else.
But I'll tell
Oh.
you who does crocheting, and we'll give a shout out. Rebecca Muir.
Oh,
down
Rebecca.
in Paisley,
Yeah.
Dumbarton. Girlfriend of our son Matthew in Dumbarton. And
Yeah.
she crochets.
She crochets.
So, yeah.
Ah.
And of course, this is now the new big thing. This crocheting tops for
All right.
post boxes. Have you seen them?
No, this is new.
Okay. Next time you're driving through Nairn, you will notice that the pillar boxes and the post boxes
Uh-huh.
have crocheted scenes on them.
All right.
Okay. And some of the people in Nairn crochet and put these woolen tops on
Yep.
the pillar boxes.
Right.
And so as we go through autumn and coming towards Christmas time, they'll be Christmassy themed.
Yeah.
And then during the summertime, they were more beach and seaside themed.
Yeah.
And they're very good. They're incredibly well done
Mm.
and very clever.
So there's a few things that we've mentioned there. I'm thinking about going back to writing again. So people could write, whether it's a fiction or non-fiction thing. Quite a few people write a diary,
A lot of diary
memoirs,
writers
yeah.
and journalers and such like.
And even if they're not able to write physically with their hand, there's a lot of technology nowadays. I mean, even a phone can be used to
Yeah,
pick up or to record.
Yeah. thoughts.
Thoughts, yeah. Thoughts. Yeah.
So, books, reading.
Reading, yeah.
You mentioned your apple trees. There's a lot of what do you do with if you've got plums and apples and
Yeah.
other fruit from the autumn, because
Yeah.
so much of it drops off the trees and gets eaten. By the time you get round to picking it up, there's
Oh yeah.
worms in it.
Oh,
and
worms and bird pecking. And,
bird pecking and so on.
Horrible.
But
Yeah.
jam making, preserves,
Oh yes.
yeah.
Diana.
Dare I say wine making?
Winemaking. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Diana, she's into the chutneys and the
Chutneys and all those
different
things.
things, yeah.
Aye, aye.
It's probably getting a bit late in the season now for making it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that's interesting. You talk about the gardening, because this is a good time of year to start planning what you might do next year. You know, a kind of mini
You see this
project.
face sort of
Are
just
you?
beginning
Are
to...
you? Oh dear.
A garden is not my project.
No, you no.
No, Kathy's, my
Yeah.
wife, is the gardener.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Kathy, are you going to have a project for the garden
Project
this year?
for the garden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And anybody else that's
And anybody
that way
else, I'm
inclined?
not. I'm not against gardeners by any means.
Yeah. Because it's quite a intense thing in thinking through, the right plant in the right
The right
place,
plant, knowing
in the sun, in the shade,
green
it's-
side up is my
Is
knowledge.
it?
Yeah, yeah. If you take a postage stamp, you can write what I know about gardening on the back of it, leaving plenty of room for helpful hints and yeah.
So maybe we've actually started the thinking process
The thinking process
for our listeners or
Yeah.
viewers in due course,
Yeah.
that they might consider doing something over the winter time just to help them through.
Aye.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's good.
Have you ever taken on a big sort of project? I'm thinking along the lines of, I don't know if they're as popular nowadays as they might have been 20 years ago. I'm thinking of a kit car.
Oh,
Do you remember a kit car? You got an old Ford Cortina
Or
that
a
had
Jaguar
been or a
base,
Jaguar
yeah.
or a Rover that had been in an accident, and then you sent away and you got
yeah,
a body kit,
yeah.
which
Fiberglass.
fiberglass,
Yeah,
whatever, and
you transferred all the bits
all
and
the
bobs.
bits,
Yeah,
aye, and it looked, it was always going to be the thing.
yes,
But when you looked at the back of the Kit Car magazine,
yeah,
there were hundreds of adverts for unfinished project,
yes,
discontinued project,
Yeah.
and all the rest of it. So
Yeah.
there were probably far more kit cars bought in kit form that never made it out of the garage.
yeah. Still in the boxes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now there was cars a few weeks ago going through Inverness, and I think there was quite a few kit cars involved there.
Mm.
Yeah, I suppose when I was younger there was a possibility of doing that, but then because I had my own car, I was working on that more so. And being a Hillman imp, I had a lot of jobs to do on it.
Aye.
I
Yeah.
can tell you someday, maybe not. No, not today. We'll talk about the cylinder head gasket on the Hillman imp at some point.
Oh, that would be an interesting one. I've done cylinder. I've
Yeah,
done cylinder head gaskets
Well,
in my time.
We could do a program on that.
Yeah.
And in fact, I've just remembered we were supposed to talk about Mrs. Stuart Mackenzie.
And we were going to talk
Yeah.
about Mrs.
So-
Stuart Mackenzie.
So they're stacking up.
They're stacking
So-
up. And dare we say, the brand Sear.
On the brand Sear, yeah, right.
Because that he comes into the story of Mrs. Stuart Mackenzie.
That's right, he does. Oh, look at the time.
Time's moving
Yeah.
on. Anyway,
So let's take a note of that so we don't forget, and we'll come back. So we've got a few programmes, and we hope that we've inspired you to at least think about doing something over the winter time. Big or small, doesn't matter.
anyway, there we are.
There we are.
Out to the garage and let's get started on the Jaguar E-Type.
Right.
Okay.
Can I finish my coffee first?
Aye.
You were listening to another program of Chatty Chappies.